Welcome to 99th Monkey Liberty News for Thursday, March 20th, 2014. The first article that I have today kind of references something that I shared yesterday about the potential for financial collapse. And this is from Zero Hedge. The music just ended. Wealthy Chinese are liquidating offshore luxury homes in scramble for cash. And of course, China has a huge credit bubble, a huge real estate bubble. And this is Zero Hedge actually tweeted this chart yesterday from, it originated, I think, with JPMorgan. China's Minsky moment approaching. And for people who understand financial charts, this explains where China is. And unless something unusual happens, unless there is a global financial reset, as I mentioned yesterday, based on the Indonesian gold, the gold that's being held by the Indonesians, it's very likely that we will see a pretty much deep worldwide depression, just because of the factors are, and I didn't get into it yesterday. The video is so good, I hope that people will just watch the video. But any bubbles from the baby boomers are expiring. It's time for those to come to an end. It's just a natural cycle, and these cycles are meant as a reset anyway. You can't have a healthy economy if there's not a portion of it that is a down cycle. Of course, that's been manipulated by the Federal Reserve and the social engineers, and the bubbles have been bigger, and sometimes the downturns haven't been what they need to be in order to purge. But again, hopefully this won't come to fullness, because we will have a reset and the Fed and the debt will be eliminated. Here's another article from Zero Hedge yesterday, though. The Chinese yuan is collapsing. And again, this is the beginning of the prediction of the downturn. And we'll keep an eye on that and certainly be praying and hoping for the reset and the elimination of the Federal Reserve and the elimination of all the debt to foreign banks. From truthdig.com, I am revisiting another idea about the potential now for there to be a shift away from calling people terrorists based on any kind of Muslim sympathies, or that terror coming from that part of the world. And now that the focus is, the oligarchs are trying to, the social engineers are trying to shift the focus now onto Russia and people who, let's face it, read and quote and watch RT. This is from truthdig.com. The title is How Cold War Hungry Neocons Stage Managed Wahl's Resignation. And again, the shift away from focus on Iraq and Iran and Muslims in the Middle East and Israel, as I mentioned yesterday with George Soros, being involved now in helping Christians understand that, maybe Israel's not always the good guy and maybe Palestine's not always the bad guy. They're shifting. They're trying to bring about a shift here. And this paragraph sums up this very well. Behind the coverage of Wahl's dramatic protest, a cadre of neoconservatives was celebrating a public relations coup. Desperate to revive the Cold War, head off further cuts to the defense budget, and restore the legitimacy they lost in the ruins of Iraq, the tight-knit group of neoconservative writers and stewards had opened up a new PR front through Wahl's resignation, and they succeeded with no shortage of help from an ossified media establishment struggling to maintain credibility in an increasingly anarchic online news environment. With isolated skeptics branded as useful idiots for Putin, the scene has been kept clean of neoconservative fingerprints, obscuring their interest in Wahl's resignation and the broader push to deepen tensions with Russia. Okay, people who watch the 99th Monkey Liberty News videos, please tell me that you are not fooled by this for even a heartbeat. And it falls on us because we do understand to help other people understand, and to be that whatever number monkey between 1 and 100 that helps to bring about a consciousness shift and a raising of awareness that we cannot no longer be so easily manipulated by this kind of transparent, I won't say the word that's in my head. I'll move on. From Blacklisted News, sudden deaths of JPMorgan workers continue. Yeah, it does continue. And, there are many things happening behind the scenes. And I don't think that we will fully know everything for a little while yet. LaRouche Pack has this article about the Malaysian air mystery, further developments on likely British-Saudi 9/11 for Asia-Malaysia Air 370. And I have offered other explanations for what is going on with Malaysia Air. I have to say, this is the one that pulls at me. This is the one that feels probably the most likely to me. This, I don't know, this just makes some sense. And one thing even that Fulford wrote in his blog this week that I mentioned the other day was that he basically was positive, saying that things are changing for the good, but he added the caveat that there is potential for another 9/11 or 3/11 style event, and perhaps this was a planned event like that. So if we all just keep praying that any plans like that will fail. So yeah. If you want to go on ahead and pray for peace, that'd be great. At the risk of appearing to be a Russian sympathizer, I have a couple of RT articles here. One is Tech Giants Knew About Data Collection, Says NSA's Top Lawyer. Surprise! I think most of us knew that without being told. And I have another RT article here. FBI's secret GPS tracking memos to stay secret. Well, for the time being anyway, right? Hopefully soon we will kind of have an overhaul and have our republic restored. And then perhaps we will be able to read some of these tracking memos, or some brilliant investigative reporter will read them for us and let us know in summary what they said. And in line with the idea of maintaining your privacy, this is not a new video. This was posted almost 2 years ago. But I happened to see part of it yesterday, and it's really just so encouraging, such a good reminder. How to refuse an ID checkpoint. And this Baptist pastor is pulled over by the police and gently yet firmly reminds the police of the Bill of Rights. And first of all, we need to know the Bill of Rights in order to be able to remind someone of them. And you can begin to hear the doubt and hesitation in this policeman's voice. He's insisting that his doing, just checking on motorists is needed for safety. But as he's reminded of the Bill of Rights, it's obvious that is not something that he thinks about every day. And if we can remind people Hopefully we all will begin to think about the Bill of Rights every day as we go through our day. And when asked to do something or behave a certain way, just ask ourselves, if I do this, will I be a party to violating the Bill of Rights? And it's unlawful. As I've shared before, the Bill of Rights is some of the highest law in our land, and any other law is subject to it, and we can't be required to violate the Bill of Rights by surrendering information that is not requested through the proper established channels. And that channel is not a random checkpoint or a random pullover. Normally we find good news at the 10th Amendment Center, but in this case it is not so. Republican leadership kills Obamacare nullification in South Carolina. And that is sad and too bad for South Carolina. It's a beautiful state. Guys, wake up and smell the tyranny, okay? Talk to your state government and let them know that they are not supporting you as Americans well, and that they are not supporting your wishes to not have to be subject to Obamacare. From Zero Hedge, government agency warns if 9 substations are destroyed, the power grid could be down for 18 months. And this was also something that Fulford wrote about, the possibility of the grid being taken down in the States. The interesting thing about this, I probably would have passed over this, except for the fact that a few weeks ago I shared an article about a substation that had been taken out by snipers. And they're not guarded. You know, the police are busy shaking down citizens driving down there. I shouldn't even use the word citizens. The police are busy shaking down travelers on the road and wanting to do illegal searches on their vehicles. And these substations are out in the hills, in various places out in the country, not under guard, and really very vulnerable. So, we just often we're just afraid of the wrong things, and our government manipulates us and our media in ways that want to make us afraid of things that are really not very big threats, and forget some of the genuine threats. And this is certainly one of them. For today's good news is Rand Paul's speech given at Berkeley, and he exposed the shadow government. He stated that there is a shadow government, and they are working behind the scenes to manipulate us. And he was giving a standing ovation. And this article from the Daily Caller has this heading: Rand Paul gets standing ovation at Berkeley. Your right to privacy is under assault. And if you have the opportunity to listen to the speech on YouTube, it's time well spent. It's very encouraging. And I also saw a tweet this morning that stated that Kentucky is allowing Rand Paul to run for senator as well as for president simultaneously in the next election cycle for president. So that was also good news. Thank you for tuning in for today's 99th Monkey Liberty News. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Hoping that you will love one another, take care, and insist on liberty.